The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You went up 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. Claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, villain real. It's Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. And oh man, one more sleep until another episode of House of Dragon. House of the Dragon. Is it House of the Dragon or House of Dragons? I feel like we be saying House of Dragons, but it's really House of the Dragon. Whatever.
I didn't realize you were a big Game of Thrones guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This has been a long time coming. When did I start this journey? 2014. I want to say 2015. No, 2015. It was definitely 2015. I started, then I stopped because I got disinterested at first. And then I gave it a go again, and I was absolutely mind blown. And it's been nonstop ever since. So
I've never watched an episode.
Oh man, what you got to sit down and just go back through OG Thrones. The early seasons of OG Thrones. The first episode's getting you in, maybe slow, but like it's good when you lock in. Oh my gosh,
I don't know what that means though, because it's like the ending was so bad to the original that people just stopped watching it.
I don't think it was that bad.
But
I didn't think it was that bad.
Like, how am I supposed to? I don't get it though. How am I supposed to watch the early episodes of the series and then just skip the last season? Like, what? Am I just left on a cliffhanger? How does that work?
I didn't think the last season was that bad at all.
I know a lot of people hated it.
Yeah, so. I mean, there's some. I didn't see it. Like, I really didn't think it was that bad at all. Like, I had no issues. I mean, there was a couple of things I'm like, oh dang, da da da. But like, no, I really didn't have any issues. And I was just like, wow, you guys really hate this? I thought this was cool. Like, it's the ending of a show. Nobody likes when a show ends. Like, nobody. I've never heard of anybody that likes when a show ends. It just ends. All right. House of the Dragon, though. Very good. I like it. I enjoy it. Okay. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott. 8 straight locks for you, man. What's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
You're doing well. Tarazi got there, had the under. Thank you, Mercury, for pulling her when you were down about 30, so I appreciate it. Ended up with 4. That was a bit of a sweat, but we got there. For the dog, I have no regrets. I took a long shot at plus 510, finished 1 assist short. So I tried John Quell, 6+ assists. She had 5. So, take some flyers, take some long shots, is what it is. Unfortunately, it was a little bit short, but we gave it was a fun sweat. It was a fun sweat for plus 510.
So we have actually 3 locks to recap. We both double locked the Aces lane 2 yesterday night when they played that game. That came through for us. And again,
well with
the
that,
Connecticut Sun.
I was going to say, we got to play the drop with that because I believe both of us swept 2 episodes ago, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. We did.
So I got to... I lose track of which one's the real sweeping one and which one's the Patrick
one.
Oh my so I have to make sure I got
Patrick
it.
Says Patrick.
I got it. All right. It was sweeping.
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't know which one? It literally says Patrick sweeps right there.
Yeah, I know, but the point is I'm not used to hitting the regular sweep one. I just hit the Patrick one. Patrick one's more fun.
Yeah, the Patrick one is fun. I'm glad we didn't have to play it though. So yeah, we both swept that episode. We both had the Aces laying 2 as our lock. You had Fever laying 2.5, caught that early line move, and you just took the plus money for free. And then I had the Fever and the Dream. That game went over, and the Liberty team total went over as well. So double sweep there. Come back to the next game. We both kill the locks. You had Diane Taurasi under 4.5 assists. Came down to the wire, but never. Actually, you beat a line move. I saw it at 3.5 when the
Yeah.
game tipped. I
It came
literally
it came
didn't
down
play
to
it.
it came down to the wire, but it really didn't because she got benched for the last like 8 minutes. So it really wasn't that big of a
Yeah.
deal. But
And then I had the Minnesota Lynx laying 5.5, and I mean it it was always the Lynx. It was always the Lynx today. And I felt good about the Lynx having a pretty good showing at home. Scoring was down, but and I would have liked to cash that over as well. But Lynx get it done, laying for 5.5. Scott, 15-10 on your lock, 60%. Myself, 20-5, 80%. We're just out here making people money, man. Just making the people money. All right. Before we get to the 4 games actually being played tomorrow, gotta talk to you about football season on the way. So you got our other show, College Football Experience. You'll catch me there every Saturday with Kobe, Dan breaking down the games before college football weekend. During the week, you'll see Kobe, you'll see Moneyline Mac, you'll see NC Nick, Patty C, Noah Beanick, all of them, and giving out picks, going through stadiums, talking about stadiums with college football stadium guy. Like, come on, it's so much. It's so much. So tap into the college football experience. Tap into 5 minute fantasy football as well. Get your fantasy football and quick burst, everything you need for the season to help you be able to draft and going on so forth, so on, so forth. So check out 5 minute fantasy football on YouTube and the college football experience. All right. Where are we starting? What's the first game up? I'm not prepared.
Liberty?
I'm sorry. Oh, it could be Liberty. No, it's not Liberty.
Okay.
Well, it could be, but it's not. Wow, what? Why are these three? What? Why are all? Why are all these games at the same time?
They just don't understand how to schedule games in this league.
Oh
Usually,
man, why are all these games at the same time, yo? Oh, this is annoying. This is in Seattle. This doesn't have to be a 3 p.m. game on the
no.
East Coast. It's in Seattle. There's no reason it should be that early. All right. Let's kick it off with the game that I know nobody's going to want to play, but I'm telling you, we have to do it. The Washington Mystics are at home. Whoa. What? Is that what you thought that was?
No, I thought you said the Storm game was then, so I thought you were segueing into the Storm.
No, no. I was
Fun.
talking about the toilet bowl.
Oh, it's all good. Fun.
The Washington Mystics on the at home. I'm sorry, Washington Mystics at home, welcoming the Dallas Wings again. They just beat them and demolished them earlier today. Final score was 97-69. They play again here, back-to-back spot. Laying 1.5 are the Mystics in this game. 162 is the total here.
I'm gonna play it again because it's a rematch, so I'll play it again. There you go.
They're gonna do it this time. They're gonna do it this time. That first game, everything that could have went wrong. They're gonna run it back.
Yeah,
Just
sums
run it
up
back.
the last month for this team.
Run it back.
Okay.
Mystics opened up at 2.5 actually, and it's down to 1.5 already.
Yeah, money came in on Dallas for the first game too, and they got smacked. So, I mean, we have
Run it
seen
back.
line movement in favor of Dallas before, and it hasn't really worked out. So, what's the case? They just can't play that badly against the Mystics 2 times in a row. What's the argument?
Yeah,
The Mystics
and
beat
I
the
mean,
crap out
one, they're not going to get killed on the boards like that again. Steph
Okay.
Dolson had a double. That's not going to happen again.
Dawson had a double.
Like so that's not going to happen again. It's going to be Enrique. So this is the thing that Enrique didn't get to the line at all. I think she finished with 1 free throw attempt and missed it. Over 6 from 3. And then a lot of those are wide open. She's not going to be wide open next time, and then she's going to end up making them. Like that's ultimately it. Like, yeah, I expect I don't know why Tierra McGowan is out there at times. Like she literally just looks disinterested in playing basketball at this time. But Natasha Howard looked good, and Natasha Howard gets another game under her belt and plays better. I don't think that they shoot 40%, 42% from three again. They were 11 for 26. Like they had the free throws, they had the rebounds, like everything went right for Washington. Very much so. I just don't think it happens again.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with Washington because I've been fading Dallas for like 2, 3 weeks straight, and I'm having a great time. I'll just put it that way. I'm having a great time. They just can't. Yeah, they just don't make enough shots, and they don't guard anybody. Timeouts mentioning that Arike is a chucker. I've been calling her that for about a month and a half. So I think
But
we're on
she
the
makes
same
them.
page.
It's the
That's
open ones
debatable.
that she misses. It's the open ones she misses. She makes the tough
I
ones.
can't say she makes them when she's shooting like in the 30s for percentage. Like
Literally, because she
she's been
misses
horrible
the
this year.
open ones. Stop leaving her open. I mean, well, leave her open. If you leave her open, she's gonna miss.
You
But
might be
like,
right. The Wings definitely have room for improvement. I don't think the Wings are that bad that they got run out of the building by Washington, but Washington's been good at home for years. They're just a better home team than road team. Dallas is bad in the second half. They don't guard anybody. I've called Arike inefficient. That's the word I've used, and that's the word that Timeout's using in the comment section. I agree. I think that when you're looking at how the team's constructed, Natasha's been okay since returning back. Defending, but that's a work in progress, adjusting back to game speed. Dallas just seems completely out of sorts. And until Satu comes back, I just don't see any value backing them. I get that they're getting 1.5. I don't really care. Like, this team's been so bad for a month. I've been fading him nonstop and I've been winning. So don't fix what isn't broken. I'll keep fading the Wings. So
this
that's
is
how
the
I'm looking at it.
this is their win. They get a win here.
They got to win at some point, but I can handle losing
I
one play
always
when
I said
I've
they were
won the
gonna
previous
split.
8. I'm fine with it.
I said they were gonna split, and unfortunately, I thought it was gonna be they won the first one and then dropped the second one. Well, they dropped the first one. Now they're gonna win the second one. So wings on
My
this
point
one.
is, you could be right, but since I've already cashed like 8 straight fades on Dallas, I can afford to just run it back, and if it loses, it loses. I'm already up a decent amount of units fading him anyway. So, and Legs mentioning, by the way, that Austin and Edwards might be back tomorrow. I don't have confirmation on that, but we'll see. Austin wouldn't shock me. She's been out for what, like 2, 3 weeks? And Edwards hasn't been out for long, so
No, she was just out this one game. So
that's what I'm saying. So that does
just
help.
got to wait on the injury report there. But either way, like I still think even if they play, that Dallas has the size that can play with them. It's just they're it was horrible. It was a horrible effort. But this is also an immediate, not even just a deja vu game, but an immediate deja vu game, like a back to back and a deja vu game. You got to run the other side here.
I
Let's
just think
play
the
the other
counter
side.
argument that I'm kind of making is you're mentioning how it's a terrible effort and you're expecting him to bounce back. To be fair, Dallas has had terrible efforts for the last month, and I feel like I haven't seen any adjustments at all with this team. It just feels like they're running out there and they're just playing
I don't
without
think it's.
actually
I don't think
having a
it's. I just think it's a lack of talent. It's just a lack of talent. It's a lack of talent, and they don't have the depth, and they're out there playing with, five people that could be starters on teams, and then a bunch of bench players that actually don't contribute too much. So, like they just don't get a full team effort because they don't have a full team staff. And I mean, they've shown me enough where I say, hey, there's something there. They've showed enough fight, and there's something there. And I just don't think they're going to drop two to the Mystics. I really don't. I think they're going to bounce back in this one and have a better effort. And ultimately, this team will start playing better when they start getting healthier. But
all I know is they've
yeah,
lost 10 straight, and I've faded them every step of the way. So I'm having a great time. But yeah, you're mentioning that the talent has been lacking. To be fair,
yeah, no,
Arike
I understand fading
and
them.
Howard
I'm
did
just saying,
play.
I'm just calling for it to end. That's it. I'm
I
just
just
calling
can't
for it
call
to end.
for them to put up a better effort when I saw them give up 97 points to the Mystics. I just feel like I've seen more often than not bad effort as opposed to good effort. It might be mental at this point. It just feels like morale's low and I don't want to bother. So I'll fade them until they win again.
All right, 162.
I'm not going to take an under. They give up 97 points to the Mystics. Arike had what, 6 points? And the game still went over? There's ways for Dallas to improve offensively and Washington to get worse offensively, and the game balances out to the over. I still like the over in this game. Dallas hasn't guarded anybody for about a month, and Washington defensively is not great either. So I like the over. I'm assuming you agree.
No, I like the under.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I thought
told
you
you.
were going to assume
I
over
think it's
because
a
Dallas
completely
is scoring.
different game. I literally think it's a completely different game. It's
I
not.
think
I
it
don't think
balances
this
out
is
too.
going anywhere.
I think Dallas can still get to 80 and Washington can get to 80. So I think with that being the case, I think that 161 is pretty reasonable.
Nah, it's a earlier start on a Sunday. I just think it's a slightly slower pace. A lot of regression on the shots. I don't think that yeah, I don't think it gets this. I think it's a little bit closer to like a 75 type game.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. Before we get to, well, do we have any player props here?
I
Oh,
am checking right now. For the Wings games, usually we don't get many. No, we have nothing because we never know who's playing for this team.
yeah.
So no, the Wings are usually off the board for
I mean,
props.
either one of these teams, we question on the injury report. So yeah, nothing there. All right. Next game up, we had no, not next game up. Before we talk about that, I got to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8 is live, and you can automatically double flex entries and miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry. The best part is you can win up to 325 times your original amount. And we're gonna drop a little underdog. Well, can we? Let's see. No, we're not gonna be able to do one at the end of the show. But guess what? That means we'll just make something on social. Make sure you follow us on socials, and we'll drop a social video, and we'll be able to do underdog like that. But make sure you go claim that special pick because tomorrow you have the rivalry game, the Chicago Sky, the Chicago Fever, Chicago Sky, and the Indiana Fever. That they have a special pick of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, half a point higher on their points, half a point higher on their points for everybody, especially new customers. So make sure you go sign up. Use that promo code NBA SGPN. That's NBA SGPN promo code at underdogfantasy.com. It's going to give you that special pick in that WNBA game and a first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdogfantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN. All right. Next game up. Yeah, let's talk about the Liberty. New York Liberty on the road going to play the Atlanta Dream. I saw this up at 9.5, but let's see 9 now. 161.5 is the total. I don't think I saw any change in injury news on the back to back.
No,
Let me
Ryan
see
Howard's still going to be
here.
out for a while for Atlanta, New York. It's a weird scheduling spot though because they do have their game against. Sorry, let me just pull this up. They play the Lynx on the 28th, which is that the Commissioner's Cup final?
Is that's on the 25th, isn't it?
That's the 25th. That's what I'm saying. That's the game on deck. So it is a
Yeah.
massive look at spot if you wanted to make that argument. So there's actually reasons to not like either team in this game.
Yeah, so 9 Benajelani and Courtney Vandersloot are going to be your questionables. I don't have any status update if they're going to be able to play, but uh, it was conditioning for Courtney Vandersloot and then a knee injury for Minaj Laney. Jordan Canada is not on the injury report. And I mean, this is all indications that Jordan Canada is going to make her first start of the season here for the Atlanta Dream. That's going to be a huge boost if they need it. Oh, man, they need it.
What do you think though? 20
you
minutes? 20 minutes?
said
25 minutes?
what?
For Canada. First game,
Oh,
20,
yeah.
25 minutes?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if she goes. I mean, it was a hand injury, so if you think that she's been working out still and just not being able to shoot, and she's just been, I don't know the specifics of the hand injury, but I assume that if she's still been running and keeping her conditioning up, she's going to get a good amount of minutes here now. So I say 25,
All right.
25, a nice start. I
It's such
mean, they're teasing me with making this 9. If this was 10, I wouldn't question it at all.
it's such a bad spot for the Liberty though. Playing a back-to-back with the Commissioner's Cup final on deck.
You just got to
It is a
fade them.
really bad spot.
They're probably going to lose this game. They're probably going to find this is what the Liberty do. They find a way to lose this game.
I think they might win it, but it's going to be like a one-possession game that we saw them have against the Mystics a couple weeks ago. Or maybe they're down at half. Maybe that's the
I
angle
mean,
you want Dream
so
first half.
okay. Sabrina's been amazing, by the way. Let's just
Yeah,
put that
she's
out
been
there.
great.
Sabrina's been amazing. But there's how many bench points were there tonight? I believe at one point it was like the third quarter in the game and they still had 0 bench points. How many bench points did they finish with tonight? 0. 0.
They had 98 points, 0
They
from the
had
bench.
98
Pretty funny.
points and it was all starters. Stewie had 33,
Yeah.
Caleb Thornton had 20, Sabrina had 24, John Coyle had 14, and Phoebich had 7.
That's so funny though. 98 points
Yo,
all
if
starters.
they're not clicking on all cylinders, they're getting Atlanta could run this up on them. But that's the thing. Atlanta can't score.
No. Canada's going to help with that, but losing
Yeah.
Howard, I mean,
And she's
it's
going to
rough.
help defensively. She's also going to give a really good boost defensively as well. So, I mean, worst case scenario, Atlanta isn't able to score and the Liberty find a way to scratch their claw their way back and get a win, and we still get a cover. Best case scenario, Atlanta plus 360 cashes.
I mean, I think that there's value on the Dream here. As bad as they are, and they got buried by Indiana. It was their first game without Howard too, which is going to take some time to adjust. But the Dream are bad; they can't score. We've talked about it for the entire season. It is a bad spot for the Liberty. Are they going to bench some players? In theory, they could. Maybe they bench somebody for this game. Who knows? Maybe Sabrina or maybe Brianna get rest. You know, they got a Commissioner's Cup game up next. They're going for the defending title. It is what, 500K on the line?
Yeah.
They have a road game against the Dream.
And it's the horrible spot of you had a home game, you went back to back plus travel going down to Atlanta, and then you got to get back on the plane and head back.
You have
and
3
go.
games in 4 nights for a Commissioner's Cup title. By the way, terrible scheduling by the WNBA. That's embarrassing. That you have.
I mean, it's not their fault. They didn't know the Liberty were going to be playing in the game.
No, but they should have coordinated that better. That's insane. That you're going to potentially be playing 3 games in 4 nights for a shot of 500K. That's a terrible scheduling spot for the WNBA to even allow at this point. But I'm going to lean Atlanta plus the points. This team's bad. I'm aware of it, but I got to at least mention the scheduling spot. If we're talking about letdown spots, this is really one of them. We know that the Commissioner's Cup game is probably the most important non-playoff game of the season because of the amount of money attached to it. It really would make a lot of sense for the Liberty to potentially sit some players for this one because of the prioritization of the Lynx game on deck at home. So I'm going to lean Dream. I like the under in this game. I think even though the Liberty defensively can be a bit up and down, the Dream can't really score, and I do think the Liberty might bench some players. So I like the under. I think 160.5 is too high. First meeting the season flew under. That game was in Atlanta as well. The Liberty won by, I don't know, about 20 in that game. I think the Dream only scored 61 in that game. That game landed 139. I like the under for a couple reasons. I'll go with the under as my favorite play. But I think 8.5 is too large. If Brianna, maybe John Quell, or maybe an SQ, any of those 3 ended up sitting in this game to prepare for the Commissioner's Cup, when your team had 0 bench points yesterday, I think it makes a lot of sense. It would not shock me if the Liberty sat a couple starters.
I think it's actually no. I think you're wild. There's no shot they're sitting anybody.
I think they might. 3 games in 4 nights.
The only people that might sit are the same people that sat today. But I think there's no shot that Jacquel Jones, Brianna Stewart, or Sabrina Ionescu missed this game.
I think it makes a lot more sense than you're claiming. I think there's a possibility.
But I just think that's not how they're wired. No, that's not. I don't think they're going to do that. I understand the sense that you say that it makes. I understand that, but I'm telling you what I'm handicapping all of them play because I don't think they're going to sit. I think
Martinez could be right though. He's saying they might be cutting
ever.
Some minutes. That wouldn't shock me. They limit those players to a 25, 30-minute ceiling. That wouldn't shock me.
That's not sitting.
Okay, that's fine. I'm saying
I don't
expect a full workload for the main star players.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
I think they're going to play that.
It's going to lead me to Atlanta anyway. But
I think they're going to play the full workload and still come close to losing this game. I understand that kind of handicap. That's just not my handicap of it. I
All
just
right.
think that this is just a look ahead spot where they just go out here, and if anybody is not shooting the ball well, if Sabrina has an off night, if Brianna Stewart has an off night, if Jacqueline Jones has an off night, they do not have a lot of options to go to for additional scoring at all because again they're not getting any production from the bench right now, and Benaja Laney with the knee injury being out right now, if she's not playing, that's another offensive load gone. Sloot not playing is another piece gone. Like I just think it's too much missing for the Liberty right here to be going on the road and laying double digits basically again. Like I'm just not doing it, not doing it.
I
I don't
saw
care.
Legs asking if there's stats for the Liberty on back-to-backs. I know that there was that game against the Mystics where they lost they tied the first half and then won the game, which we were really annoyed by. But I do want to quickly see if I could find stats for back-to-backs. Okay, so they played the Mystics. I mentioned it before. They won that game by 5. That was back on June 9th. That was the only back-to-back they've played all year. So far this season, they won a game without covering, and they were tied in the first half. That's the only back-to-back stats that I have.
So last season they had a back to back where they played Atlanta in New York, won that game 95-84. The next night they played Minnesota in New York and lost 88-83.
I don't think Collier played in that game, by the way. I think Collier sat that game.
I feel like she sat that game too. I
That
feel like
sounds vaguely
that's the
familiar. I
exact
think she sat
same.
that game.
We have another back to back set where they played the Aces on the first leg. They lost 88-75, and that was in Vegas, and then they played Phoenix. The back leg won 85-63. That was a horrible Phoenix team, by the way.
They had a great time
that
with
was
that team, though. They had a great
that
time.
was a horrible Phoenix team, by the way. I just want you to know that. That team was horrible. That's all I got. I don't
We agree on this
see
game, though.
anything else.
We
Yeah.
might disagree on who's
Yeah,
going to
we
be playing
disagree
or
on
the
the
amount.
methods, but we both
We still get
agree.
to the
We're
same
on
conclusion.
Atlanta. Yeah, we're both on Atlanta. Plus 9.5. Sprinkle on the money line. Plus 360.
You like the under
365.
or no?
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to not like the under, but it's just I I really, really want to not like the under. I really, really do. But well, I mean the Liberty do struggle inside the paint, man.
Yeah.
And that's all Atlanta's gonna try to do. It's gonna be Cheyenne and it's gonna be Tina Charles. And I really want to say, I really, really want to trust the Dream to score. But I can't. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because they at least, but it's not Indiana. This is not Indiana.
Even Indiana, they scored 79. That's not that good of a showing against Indiana anyway.
I really, really want to like the over, man. I really want to.
I
But
just
I'm
can't
gonna
get
lean
there.
under. Yeah,
There's
I
too many
know.
variables.
I really,
to go
really
against.
want to take the over. I can't trust Liberty team total over, but I really, really want to get there on either an over or an Atlanta team total over. But it's just like, dog, the offensive production has been so bad, and I want to blindly say Jordan Canada just fixes all of that, and I feel better about it. And maybe that's what I end up doing, and that's how I change my mind, is that I just blindly say Jordan Canada comes in and makes an impact because it's gonna help. It is.
It can't hurt. This team can't score anyway. So yeah, we'll see how big of an impact Canada has in this game.
Yeah. All right. And the 2-6 to 2-6 over under at home, man. I can't do it. Under 161.5. But that was a tough one. All right. You got any? I don't have any. Wow,
I got nothing.
Yeah, there's no player props out right now. Okay. Yep. Cool. Next game. Well, before we get to the next game, it's like, gotta talk to you about rhythm. They make it easier than ever to bet the WNBA because they have a whole bunch of custom betting models that you can create in literal seconds, like it's sliders, and you just slide the model over, back, forward, up, down, doesn't matter. And you can create your custom betting model that has what you preference, what you think matters, and you can create it. Then they have AI backed betting recommendations that you can just go on there and get the picks. You don't want to create a model? Fine. Hey, I'm not the biggest model person. I don't be knowing I'm not the biggest model person, but I like to go in there and I like to see the plays that I agree on. That is what I love. I like to see the plays that I agree on. And guess what here? Let's see. What do they have that? Oh, we ain't got to that game, but I'm gonna have to bring that back up in rhythm. Oh, hey, make sure you go check out my Twitter too at really real __ because guess what? Rhythm 100% gave me a 2 out of 3 hit earlier. We missed on the wings, but we're gonna cash the wings today, so it doesn't matter. Then we hit, of course, Sparks plus 15.5. That was easy. I mean, come on, you can't lay that big of a number with delivery right now. It's insane. And then they also hit Lynx laying 5, just like my lock. Love it when I and Rhythm are on the same page. Make sure you get a 7-day free trial so you can get all of this access. All of this access at Rhythm. At Rhythm, make sure you get the app wherever you get your apps. 7-day free trial, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right. Next game up, we have the Connecticut Sun on the road going to play the Seattle Storm. Storm laying 1.5, 156.5 is the total. I have no, and wait, hold on. Let's see. Anybody in this game? Anybody in this game? Nope. No updates for this game. All right.
You want to play the drop, or you want me to play the drop?
You can play it.
I was going to say, before we do any type of handicapping for these games, of course, there is one piece of, I'd say, routine that we have to do every time.
Okay, so both of these two teams just lost to Vegas.
Badly. But yeah, badly. Storm was worse based on margin, but damn, the Sun got their asses kicked in that game. What, they have 28 points in the first half?
It just felt like there wasn't a chance. Like, and
no, it's the same thing every year.
Yeah, and that's what we handicapped and we talked about. It just wasn't a chance. So both of these two teams gave Vegas their confidence back, and now they put square off against each other in Seattle. Early, well, I mean, it's not really an early game for the East Coasters.
Well, I want you to talk about your opinion on the Storm, because you've been on point. You had the Aces minus the 5, I think, against the Storm in that game. And your logic was that the Storm defensively have kind of fallen apart, and you're noticing a bit of a, I don't know if it's a slump or a lull or whatever you want to call it, but the point is they've not been playing good basketball lately. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, or if that's just why you're going to take the Sun in this game. Does it get right?
I mean,
spot,
it's just
in the Storm?
I mean, it's just more of just paying attention into what they were doing. And the past 3 games before that game, they gave up 87 in a loss on the road to the Mercury, gave up 84 to Dallas, which looks horrible right now.
Yeah.
and Dallas was in that game. And, you know, I think we were sweating the spread in that game that day. And it was like, I didn't really feel nervous about it, but it's like, it was way closer than you would have liked. And then, they had that 79 against the Sparks, and so it's just like, hey, I don't know what you're doing, and you don't want to give the Aces any hope. So the 94 to the Aces wasn't a complete surprise at all. But now I feel like they're back home. They were looking forward to coming back home to this game, and I remember NECA talking about it, looking forward coming back home to this game after the Sparks game. And then you went on the road to Dallas, went on the road to Phoenix, went on the road to Las Vegas and got your ass kicked twice. Whereas this Sun team, I think that their issues at the top with the top teams are going to be the same thing, and it's the fact that they offensively don't have enough options.
No.
I don't think they do. Like, I think they have very good options, and I think they can compete. But at the end of the day, when you're playing the top, like this Seattle team can score at a moment's notice. Like, at a moment's notice, they can put up an easy 83 points. I just don't know if this Sun are getting the 80. I can see Seattle getting the 80 on the Sun, but I can't see the Sun getting 80 on Seattle, especially at home, especially feeling reinvigorated, ready to go. and they're coming off rest too. Like they're coming off, what's that, 3 days rest opposed to a day
Yeah, give or
for
take.
Connecticut. Plus Connecticut's traveling. So Connecticut's starting their West Coast trip and they just came from Vegas, been traveling this whole. Yeah, I think it's Storm, man. I think Storm on the play.
So I know that we keep talking about the Sun and their lack of offensive options. I don't want to roast an MVP finalist last year, but when your best player doesn't shoot the ball, that's kind of a hard time you're going to run into. Because AT, I know we love AT, and I know that she's the best player on this team. She had 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists, and Asia just walked into 26 and 16. That kind of
Mhm.
summed up the game, didn't it? It just feels like against these top tier teams, they don't really need to guard AT because she's never looking for her own shot. I just think she needs to be more aggressive, and she just never is. And it's really annoying to watch. But when your best player does not actively look for her own shot, you're going to have problems offensively. And that's what the Sun have dealt with for years. I still love AT. I know that she's a great player for rebounds and assists. I get it. But the lack of consistent aggressiveness kills this team. You need AT to be a lot more aggressive going to the rim. And with that not being the case on a pretty regular basis, I like the under in this game. I think
No, that's the
I
best
think
play.
these teams are
No,
going to
that's the
kill each
best
other.
play of the day. That's the
These
best
teams are
play
going
of
to
the
kill
day.
each other. Even if you are picking the Storm to get to 80, there's no guarantee the Sun even get to 75. The Sun defensively, I think, will put together a better effort against the Sun than the Storm they did against the Aces. I mean, even the Aces, they scored 85, but they only shot 25% from three. The Sun did a couple of things well defensively in that game. I mean, 85 against the Aces might not sound great. It's fine. It's an okay showing. It's not like the end of the world, but I think you're going to end up seeing both teams defensively clamp in. They'll be motivated or clamp down. They'll be motivated. I think they'll be ready to bounce back. And I think this is going to be a playoff atmosphere. I think these teams are going to kill each other. Martinez mentioned in that Carrington can't exactly shoot either from the outside. You're not wrong. They have Harris. They have, I mean, if you want to even throw in Bonner, Bonner's 3-point numbers this season are horrible too. So the Sun really don't have many floor spacers. Bonner thinks she's a floor spacer, but her 3-point shooting is atrocious. She's shooting 29.7% from three. That's kind of the issue you run
Mhm.
into. You can clog the middle, dare the Sun to hit some outside jumpers, and a lot of them can't do it. That's kind of the issue they have. So, with that being the case, give me the under. Give me a physical game. First team to 75 wins. I think this game lands potentially in the 140s, but I'm going to go with like a 152. Give me the under 157 and a half.
Yeah, I mean that's by far the best play of the game. Best play of the game. I feel really good about the Storm. I think the Storm. Wait, so what side did you take? You took the Storm
I'm
too.
going I'm going to lean to the Sun mostly because I think that right now they're playing better basketball than the Storm are. The Storm have just not been good for a weekend and change. So I'm going to lean to the Sun. I don't want to bet the side though. Just give me the under. Let these teams kill each other. That's how I'm going to look at it. Give me the under. Do you think I'm being too
Yeah.
harsh though about AT? Because I know how good she is, but isn't it a bit frustrating when your best player never really looks to the basket as much as she should?
Um,
It's going to limit
I
her
feel like
upside, isn't it?
only when it's like I just feel like they're guarding her better, and she's got a lot of bigs on her, and it's just more of scheming up her in the mismatches where she can kind of just go into the post and dominate, and so it's just it takes a little bit of a better scheme in saying you want to get AT going, but I think that their issues just lie in overall personnel and the fact that they just need a couple of more people that a couple of more give more opportunity to those players on the bench that can go out there get a bucket. They need Mariah Jefferson to get healthy and stay on the court and get going because she's one of those people. But they're really missing Tiffany Hayes. Like ultimately, that's what this comes down to, and why the offense looks a little bit more stagnant, and why I can only feel but so good about this team because yeah, they can score on a bunch of bottom feeders in defense, but like when it comes to the top defenders, they're gonna struggle because they just don't have people that can go out there and create their own shots instead of just powering inside of the paint. And Tiffany Hayes was a big workload. Like that was a double-digit scorer that's just gone and off of this team now. So I mean, Ty Harris is cool. She's gonna give them a little boost and she may be able to hit outside threes, but like they need more, man. They need
Well, that's the
more.
thing, is that I think the main issue with this team is spacing, and part of that is based on 18 not really shooting that much from the outside, if at all, because they can kind of sag into the paint. And you're looking at the Sun 3-point wise, for example. The Sun so far this season have 3 players averaging over 2 threes per game. Only one of them is shooting above 31.1% from 3. Harris is shooting 42+%. Harris is crazy. She's a phenomenal 3-point shooter. She's the best shooter on this team by a mile. Bonner's attempting about 5 threes a game. She's shooting 29.7%. Bannum's attempting 3.2. She's shooting 31%. And Carrington's attempting 2.1. She's shooting 19.4% from 3. Well, if you're shooting
She got to
below
shoot him more. She just got to shoot it more. She
Carrington,
actually like she actually has to shoot it more to find herself a rhythm. Because man, when I say like the shots that she takes are the ones that she actually is like, oh wait, I wasn't gonna. Oh no, I'll pull back and out. Like no, like oh, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, dog, I'm like, bro, there's no way you're that bad. Like, you're not that bad. And we all know you're not that bad shooting the 3. You could be shooting maybe 29%, but 19 is insane. And you're in your own head at this point. Like, that's pure mental. That is pure mental right there.
once
Like, it's
again,
purely mental.
if you take Harris off
That's
this team,
horrible.
if you take Harris off this team in a hypothetical situation, this team's shooting below 30% from 3. You're not going to win a title in today's basketball, whether it's the NBA, whether it's college, or whether it's the WNBA, and your team can't shoot. This team, simply put, cannot stretch the floor. And that's why they will never beat the good teams in a playoff series. They just can't stretch the floor. They need to trade for a shooter. So that was my deep dive on the Sun. Because people were asking us in the comment section or on Twitter, like, are we disrespecting the Sun? Like, why are they getting 5 or 6? It's because they have a capped offensive ceiling, and it's nowhere
Oh
near good
yeah.
enough to win a title.
Oh yeah, there's like
They can't shoot.
and it's you had to be here. Like you got to be here and like there's no reason I could really care less that they're 13-2.
No, it doesn't mean anything because I mentioned in the Aces
I
preview they
could
haven't
care
beaten
less,
anybody.
man.
They had
They're
2
always the
step-up games.
bridesmaid.
Yeah,
They're
they had 2
always the
step-up games
bridesmaid.
this season. 2 games against really good competition. And the Liberty beat them pretty comfortably in Connecticut. They won that one by 7, I think. And the Aces were dominant. They were up by like double digits at halftime. As good as the Sun are record-wise, they are an extremely flawed team. I'm trying to think of a comparison for them, and I'm trying to figure it out.
Nah, you want to know what the comparison is? It's that Utah Jazz team that was winning every game in the regular season and covering by a huge margin, but yet nobody was concerned when
That's a
it
fair
came to the
comparison. That's a
playoffs.
good comparison.
Nobody
That's a good
was
comparison.
concerned when
No.
it came to the playoffs.
They were the 1 seed, and everyone's like, all right, good luck with that. That's a great comparison.
Whatever.
That's a good
Who
one.
cares?
That's a good
They
one.
were like, who cares? We don't care that you constantly. And I'm talking about that was the greatest covering Utah. Like, I think that was actually went down in history as the greatest covering team.
There was a stretch where they covered
They were
like
covering everything.
19 of like 20 games. Like there was a stretch where they were the greatest covering team we've ever seen, and nobody cared.
Nobody cared, and they got to the playoffs, and it happened. So that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. The Sun team, they're always a bridesmaid, and I just think this Storm team, even though they're 9-6 right now, they've shown me that they can play at a level where they're one of the top 3 teams in the league. So I just think defensively it's going to be too much, and they're not going to be able to score. I don't trust them. That is an absolute lock of a total. I think the total is going to come down fall way short. And yeah, I'm siding with Seattle, but we don't have any props, so can't really give you.
By the way, the
anything more than
comparison I was going to make was either going to be the Raptors with Lowry and DeRozan, or the Hawks team that had 4 All-Stars and was never a threat to actually beat LeBron. It was one of the two, but you get what I'm trying to say.
that.
We're making the same point here. They're just not good
The
enough to beat
4
the best
All-Stars are hilarious. Yeah, man. They're just this is just a really good regular season, and they're gonna beat the team. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat, but they're not gonna beat the teams they're not supposed to beat. And this is now what I will say to you is the reason that I'm not locking up Seattle is because I don't know 100% if Seattle is one of those teams. It could very well just be the Aces and not Mercury, the Aces and the Liberty, and that's it. Like, it could very well be that. I just think that Seattle has kind of worked themselves, and I'm a huge Eloy fan, that I think they've worked themselves into a territory where they can be 3.
Mhm.
But and that's literally the only reason I'm not locking this game.
I mean, right
because I
now
just don't have.
I think right now they're 5 because Minnesota's got to be ahead of them. Minnesota's been
Yeah,
great.
no, but I think the Sun can beat Minnesota. I don't think that. I don't think they can. I actually don't think they can beat Seattle, and I'm just waiting for them to prove me right, and then I'm gonna lock this up the next time they play.
I mean, the Storm have too many weapons in theory if everything's clicking. So
Yeah, like I just. Mm, yeah,
just saying. Once
and
again,
they're
don't
back
fall
at
for the
home.
record.
The back, yeah. Don't fall for the record. Don't fall for the record. These teams are really good. All right, I have nothing else here. No, yes, I
I
do. I have one more game. I lied.
was gonna
Fourth
say
game.
I got 0 props by the way. So yeah, underdog we might have to punt on because I just don't have anything for this
Yeah, I
unless we
don't
do a
have
same game
any
for the
props.
final one.
Here we go. Indiana Fever on the road going to play the Chicago Sky. Fever laying 1.5. 169.5 is the total. I have no. Diamond Shields is playing. I think she's playing. I
I was
think
gonna
she's
say there
playing.
shouldn't be any new injury news for these teams. I don't
I
think there's
think
been a recent injury by any means.
Diamond to Shields is probable. There we go. That's the only update. Diamond to Shields is probable. All right.
Okay.
I had this
I'm gonna
circle.
yeah, I think we all did.
Yeah. This is I had this circle and I had notes for this game. I had my notes are literally one line. It's one sentence. And it says Carter and Sky money line no matter what.
Oh, I was gonna say injuries, rebounds. That's where I thought you
Oh
were gonna
well,
go with
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, of course that, but like Carter and Sky rebounds. I mean Carter and you got me taking rebounds. God dang it, Scott. Carter and Sky money line, no matter what. Carter and Sky money line, no matter what. I didn't care
Yeah.
what the line came in at. It was Carter and Sky money line, no matter what.
I mean, if you want to back the Sky, it is a good line to take them on because it is basically a pick 'em. And the 2 games we saw this season that already took place were competitive. Now, Indiana is 2-0. Both games were in Indiana, so it is going to be the first game between these two in Chicago. Chicago's not good at home, but Indiana's bad on the road. First meeting was close. It was a 1-point game. That was the first Commissioner's Cup game, and the second game was close. And then uh, the Fever went on a run late to kind of win by 8, but that was a 1-possession game with like 3 minutes to go or so. So these games have
Yeah.
been close. So I'm not going to roast you for taking Chicago if you do think that they are going to be able to get over the finish line in this spot. The Fever, though, have won 4 straight. They've been good. Now, all those games were, or 3 of those games were at home, and they played the Dream with no Ryan Howard, and that was just a gift. That was a free win. I think I am going to lean to the Fever in this one, just until I see Chicago beat this team. It might just come down to defense, and I know Indiana doesn't exactly guard anybody. They have been better defensively over the last couple of games. The Sky, it just seems like even though they win the rebounding battle in all these meetings, they just have a lot of possessions where they mentally check out. There's just a lack of, I'd say, urgency in a lot of these possessions where they're just leaving wide open shooters. We saw it in the last minute of the last meeting. They gave up an offensive rebound and gave up a wide open layup in front. It just seems like there's a lot of possessions where the Sky kind of shoot themselves in the foot defensively. And I think that you're going to see a higher scoring game. I'm going to lean to Indiana, but I do think if I want to go for player props, there's a lot to like for Chicago in this matchup. So I'm going to lean to Indiana. I think that Caitlin has actually given this team problems because I don't think that the Sky have a lot of great defensive matchups for her, but it's mostly going to come down to pick and roll defense. There's been a lot of mistakes in the partnership between Reese and Cardoso, and they need to work on it. But the pick and roll killed them in the last meeting, and I don't see them fixing that. So I'm going to lean to Indiana, but for player props, there's a lot to like for Chicago. So I don't know if you want to segue that into player props or you want to try to persuade me on Chicago. I understand the angles for Chicago, but until they beat this team, I'll lean to Indiana. And they're in good form. I think Indiana's been in solid form. So
Yeah. I understand all of that. Taking the rivalry game back at home, fading this Indiana team, getting a win on the road. against a relatively healthy squad. I think that defensively we're going to see it open back up for Chicago, and that's where I want to play this on just fading the defense on the road here against a team not named the Atlanta Dream. And because at the end of the day, Atlanta still got almost got 80 points there. And that's
Mhm.
actually like a feat. That's actually a feat. And I'm going to read into that. I'm going to read into Atlanta almost scoring 80 there and saying this Sky team, which has been pretty good offensively in the past few games, not going to lie, 83, 83, 81. They had a 75 against Connecticut and then an 80 against Atlanta in that first game on the road. They're kind of hanging around that 80 number. I think that's where the team total is going to be about what, 82 and a half, 83 and a half, something like that. When it comes in, I need to find it, but I think that the Chicago Sky in just one domination on the boards and the fact that the offensive rebounding is just going to constantly give them extra possessions. I expect this team to be able to find the ball into the basket. And Kenan Carter is just a bucket. If they're going to have her in the starting lineup against this team, I'm going to back her again. She's been really, really good. She hasn't slowed down. I'm not going to stop backing her now. So, Kenan Carter, I just that's just going to continue to be an autoplay for me.
By the way, I
I
am going to point out that in the last meeting, the Fever did shoot 56.5% from the floor and 44.4% from three. So some regression is probably in store for that. So
Chicago Sky team total, Sky on the money line, Candy Carter. Waiting for the
okay.
line to drop. But they're just not setting her lines high enough at this point. Like it's just not they're just not setting her lines high enough at this point. So all right. Let's see here.
We have props in this game. We actually do have props.
Oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah, we do. We have props on this one. And it makes sense. It's the Caitlin Clark game. So they just have props on her and others. We
Let's
know whether
see.
it's fair or
They
not. She's
don't
getting.
even have how why don't they have Carter? What? Why would you not have Carter props though? All right.
I even think.
So where's
I think.
Reese rebound set
Yeah.
at now? It's
It's
at
at
11
11
and a
and a,
half.
it's at 11 and a half, and I still don't mind it.
I don't see
I
why
mean,
you would
she's
stop.
she's Moses Malone. I don't know what you want from me. Like she gets 12 rebounds in every game. It's just ridiculous. She's at the rookie record, I think. She had 18 rebounds the last game. But to read off the rebounds, the last three games, 18, 13, 14, had 10 against Connecticut, who I think are the best team in the league at preventing rebounds, and she had
Mhm.
13 against Atlanta. She's just an absolute freight train on the boards, and nobody can stop her. I've been giving out the over for rebounds the entire season, and she's done so well on the boards. I got to take it. I mean, we're looking at the two games so far this season against Indiana. She had 13 rebounds both times. She's just a menace on the boards. I think I have to go back to it, don't I?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not mad. I mean, I'm playing the boards on the Sky side of ball. Yes, Mike, that's Candy Carter points when it comes out and taking the points over. And yeah, so I like Reese and I like Cardosa. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when you look at the numbers, I mean, this is a really, really good bet to get her 8.5 rebounds at plus money at plus 110. She's played 30 minutes or more in three of the last four games. In all three of those games that she's played over 30 minutes, she's gotten over this line. She's at 9, 10, and 11. I mean, we talked about the matchup last time. We talked about this game between her and Aaliyah Boston, and Aaliyah Boston, the respect they have, the they played together, South Carolina. Like this is going to be a battle. I think that this is going to be played on the boards, and they all know it. Everybody knows it. It's going to be them versus her and Melissa Smith, and then everybody else is going to try to help chip in for Indiana as well and try to put a body on them. I just think that those two, Reese and Cardoso, continue to win out. Like they're just dominant, man, on the glass. So offensive glass is they're probably one of the best offensive rebounding teams. Like clearly between the two of them, I really don't know how you're able to compete with those two on the offensive glass. So yeah. I think you play both rebounds. I think both rebounds are a good look. I would look at both. Well, there's no value on Reese's double double now, but I would look at Cardosa double double as well. Like you're getting plus money on 8.5 rebounds. The double double price has got to be pretty nice.
It's plus 280. for
Yeah,
Cardoso.
she had a double-double last time they played them. She had 10 and 10. So, and then she had 9 and 11 in her last game against Dallas, so she was on the cusp right there too. And then the
But
last game that she had 30 minutes, she had 10 and 9. Like she's been there.
I do want to ask you though, since we're talking about rebounding, if you were going to look at Indiana, do you want to go for Leah Boston? Because she killed this
Yeah.
team last time out.
How do you not play Aaliyah Boston right now?
Just for her stats, by the way, in that last head-to-head meeting, she had 19 and 14 in 37 minutes with 5 blocks, by the way. So she just did everything in that game. But I think she's in line for a monster game. Her rebounds you can currently find at 8.5. I think that's a great deal. She's had 9+ rebounds in 4 of the last 5, and I think that she can easily. Somebody's going to have to rebound for Indiana, and it's going to have to be Boston. So I think if you're talking about Reese and Cardoso dominating on the boards, you're not wrong, but somebody's going to have to combat that because we know Chicago's not going to get every rebound in this game. I think Boston's rebounds are too low at 8.5. You can find her double-double,
Yeah.
by the way, at plus 125. I don't really hate that either. I think Boston's in line for a big game. She's been great recently. No way around it.
I think you could play all. I think you could play all three. Yeah, I really think you can play all three and be fine. And like it's just because all the rebounds just funnel to those players, like they just do. So, all right, let's see here. Anything else we like?
I know Caitlin torched them last game. She had 23, 8, and 9. I don't mind the assists for Caitlin in this game.
Yeah, you got to keep playing her assists. You got to keep playing her assists. I don't know why they're afraid to just go ahead and jump the needle up on her assists. Maybe it's because she kind of falls like in that, what is it, that 6 like she's hit 6 a lot, I believe it was.
Her
But
assists are at 6.5. She's had at least 6 and 4 straight. She's had at least 7 in 2 of the last 3.
okay, so yeah, it's just that she just hit 6 on the, like, yeah, 6. Yeah, she just hit 6 a lot on the dot. But like, I mean, with how Aaliyah Boston is playing and how those two have been playing on the pick and roll, I'm not, no.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
pick and
playing
roll
that.
has been incredible.
Clark assist over is a continued cash cow, I believe. All right. Cool. And that's some. We could do an underdog lineup from this game. I like enough stuff in this game.
Yeah.
All right. Let's close it out. Lock, dog, underdog. Did I do a parlay last time? I might have forgot. Parlay.
I know you did a parlay. I don't remember what you took.
Did I?
I
Wow.
thought you put it on the
I don't
sheet.
have it. Did I?
No?
No, I don't. I don't have one down. I don't think I
Oh,
did
okay.
one.
All right. Sorry to hear that.
Whoops.
We'll
Yeah, I
pull it
must have
up.
forgot.
We'll pull it up after, and we'll figure it out.
Okay. Here we go. For my lock.
I feel like we're both thinking
Under.
of the same lock. Yeah.
Yeah, under
Yeah.
under 157.5 in Connecticut Sun and Seattle Storm. That's not going over, bro. That's not going over. With the Sun and just how good they are naturally on defense, and then with Seattle coming off rest, coming back home, I expect to see a reinvigorated team on defense that understands that they haven't been playing well defensively for the past 3 games. Like this is a lot. This is pretty easy for me. Under 157.5. I can't get away from that bet. Connecticut Sun, Seattle Storm under 157.5 for my dog.
Did we like many dogs in general on the card, or does it have to be
Atlanta.
player prop or parlay based? Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Atlanta's a good
Atlanta.
one. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I am going to get a Carter points and money line play in. If I can't, I'm going with Atlanta.
Okay.
Let's see. I can. So let's see. Sky. What's the price on this? What's the better price? Sky 15. No, 20. What's 22? They're about the same. Plus 360. Yeah, I'll take Carter. I'll take Carter. I'll take Carter 20 plus. I'll just do the 20 plus. I think she, at the end of the day, I think she's going to score. And I think that they've been playing, making her 15.5 points. 20 plus is plus 215. I won't even tackle on the money line for you. I'll save that for the parlay. I won't even do that. So just Carter 20 plus for the dog, plus 215. For the parlay, however, Sky money line. This is it. We are going Dream plus 9.
Okay.
Do I want to go back to Carter? Or do I want to go back to the lock? Or do I want to do both? I'm going to do both. So we're also going to toss in, we'll just take our baseline prop here. Carter, 15.5. 15.5 just feels cheap. And then we'll take the under. I'm getting 156 here. Might have to shop around here and see if I can make this better and get a higher number there. But boom. Wow, is that 5 legs? Holy crap. No, it's not. I lied. There we go. It's 4 legs. So Carter points over 15.5. Chicago Sky money line. Dream plus 9.5. Under 156. 156. I really don't like getting 156. I feel like there's a better price out there, but 156. Dang, that's plus 9. Dang, that's plus 987. Really? It's 10-1. Hell yeah. And I got a 30% boost. Psh, yeah, give me that. All right. Oh, see, look, he found a plus 290 on that Carter play on Bet3. I'm gonna have to go place it there. See, there we go. So I'm on Carter, I'm on the Sky, I'm on the Dream, I'm on the under, and that's it. Sky, over to you.
All right. So for the lock, I did think about double locking the under, but you know what? I think we should give the people more picks. I'm gonna go back to that Liberty Dream game.
I don't know. I
Give me
just
the
gave 4 picks.
Well, I know. I'm just saying because I feel like sometimes when we take the same lock or dog, some people might get annoyed because we're just sharing picks. I'm gonna go with the under in the Liberty and Dream game at
Oh,
160 and a
okay.
half. I think that line's too high. It's a really bad spot for the Liberty. I think there's a chance they might sit some players, and we mentioned before they scored 98 points against the Sparks and had 0 from the bench. If they sit anybody, good luck trying to score. But it's a back-to-back game. It's a sandwich spot because you have the Commissioner's Cup game up next against Minnesota. It's really an awful spot for the Liberty. The Dream can't score either, even though Canada's back. We know Howard's out. And we saw them face off against each other when fully healthy, and that game landed 139. I think 160 and a half is too high. I know the Liberty defensively are not great. Offensively, they also take their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter when they are winning. So there is a chance they just no-show the fourth quarter again. I'm going to go with the under, though. I just have a hard time of penciling the Dream in to contribute offensively on a regular basis, especially with Howard being out. There's a couple ways to get to the under in this one, but I think 160 and a half based on this scheduling spot is a solid price or solid line in general. And I think it's going to drop, especially if a couple of Liberty players are on a min restriction, which might not be officially announced, but it would make a lot of sense. So give me the under 160 and a half in that Liberty game as my lock. For my dog, I got to think of what I want to go with because I thought about doing a player prop parlay in that Sky game. I don't like any of the other dogs, so I'm going to have to do something with this one. I think I'm going to go with, you know what? Yeah, give me Moses Malone rebounds again. Give me Reese 11.5. She's just too good at rebounding. I can't go against her. And she's cashed every time I've taken her. So I'll go with the over on her 11.5 rebounds. And I think I am going to throw in, let me just see what her points line is at. Yeah, you know what? I'll throw that in too. Give me Angel Reese 12 plus rebounds, parlayed with Aaliyah Boston over 14 and a half points. She had 18 the last game. I don't think they can actually guard her, and she's been great recently. That 2 big pays out of plus 197. So once again, give me Reese 12 rebounds and give me Boston 15 points, plus 197.
All right. Let's see here. Underdog fantasy.
There's a lot from this game that we like.
I don't want to give out a Reese or Carter play because people are going to use the special pick. Make sure you use
Yeah.
that special pick higher half a point. I mean, I'm sorry, no matter what play we give out for them, ain't nothing beating that higher half a point. Nothing.
And for the record, whether you like Reese or Clark, for the sake of money, take Clark on this damn promo. It's half a point. Take Caitlin Clark. Like, why would you even why would you even bother stressing it? Take Clark over Reese for this. For I think you'd agree. For the half a point, you should 100% take Clark. That's not even a
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah. I would 100% take Clark too.
Just
All
to be
right,
clear.
man. All right, man. I think both hit, but I would 100%. Like if I would 100, I'm going to because I'm taking mine. I'm getting my half a point, so I'm definitely taking Clark though for sure.
Me personally, I'll take Caitlin Clark, the half point. So what do you want to go with for this one? Because we like Boston, we like Cardoso,
Mm-hmm.
so we can throw both of those in theory.
You want? Would you like higher 15 and a half points for Boston or higher 24 and a half points in rebounds?
I gotta think of what I prefer there. I mean, Boston's been great in every area. It's not like there's really a wrong answer for this one. For points,
Yep.
she has gone over in 3 of the last 5. Had 18. I mean, she's had 19 plus points in 3 of the last 4. The only exception was the Dream game, but she only played 25 minutes because they were up by a ton.
They were
So
killing them. They didn't need her.
assuming she's going to play 30 plus minutes in this spot, yeah, I think I got to go with the points. She's had
Higher
19 plus points in those 3. Yeah, I got to go with it.
higher 15 and a half points, higher 8.5 rebounds at 1.05x spicy. And then Kenny Carter has to be the last play. She's killed this team. She's really
Yeah.
killing 95% of the teams that she goes up against, to be honest. And they just keep not adjusting the line.
I know people gave her crap for like shoving Caitlin to the floor. I don't think people realize how good she's actually been this season as a basketball player.
She
Carter's
had
been
19
crazy.
in that game. Like she
Yeah.
had 19 on 66% in that game, and then came back with the 18 on 57% against the
Yeah.
Fever as well. Like she's gotten over this in her last 3 games. I don't understand. Last 3 and what is this? 4 of the last 6. I don't understand why I'm not playing. Why would I not play this? She's been over it. She's only missed this twice this month, actually.
Yep.
Once against Connecticut, and then that game against the Dream, where she only played 15 minutes. All right, pretty easy there. So there's an underdog lineup. Kenny Carter, higher, 15 and a half points. We have Camila Cardosa, higher, 8.5 rebounds, spicy. And Aaliyah Boston, higher, 15 and a half points. You can also add your Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese, even though we recommend to just go ahead and take Clark.
You're just
Half
picking
a
which
point
players
promo.
projected more points. Like it's Clark. Just
Yeah,
take
like
Clark.
just take the one that's projected. Yeah, she's clearly projected more. That's you take that one. But I understand. They're both really good promos. All right. Other than that, Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
Yes, a reminder. There are no games on Monday. I believe there are no games on Monday, and we
There are
have
no
a
games on Monday.
standalone game on Tuesday, which we will cover because that is the Commissioner's Cup final. So we're going to be back for that game.
Yep, Monday night. Monday night we'll do that breakdown. All right. I have nothing. Wow, we have a big crowd here tonight. Appreciate all of you guys here. Make sure you like the video. Hey, there, look at them leaving before I even get to the end. Like the video on the way out. That's all I ask. Just like the video before you get up out of here. And make sure you give us a 5-star rating review wherever you get your podcast. Give us a little comment. Drop something in the comments. That helps the algorithm, helps grow the show, all that. Tell a friend of a friend, and a friend of a friend, and continue to tell that friend. And then, yeah, the timestamps will be up later. I'm about to actually go do that now, so we can go ahead and get that up for you. But now I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end it like this. We are out of here.